And we are live. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Respect the Craft. This is episode number 222. Yes, the second of the night here as we're keeping it going with Titan Week. And we got a very special guest, a very familiar face for the channel here. We got Theo Monsta Mack in the building. Good evening, Theo. But wait, I also should say now the Titan Championship Wrestling General Manager. Theo Steve Monsta Mack.
Yes, sir. What's going on, Ray? It's been a while. My nephew, we haven't spoken in a hot minute, but lives are keeping us super busy. And let me just tell you that being the general manager of Titan Championship Wrestling has been by far harder than anything I've ever had to do in the ring. I'm up for the challenge. I'm all up for the challenge. But let me tell you, it is quite the challenge.
I can imagine again, like the idea of, okay, you've been doing this. It's been more than 2 decades of in ring, but now having to control a bunch of just crazy titans. I can imagine is another whole different level of a task, and pun intended.
It's. I mean, so February 1st. I'm sorry, my 27th year in wrestling. Right. And I have dealt with more people wanting to do this, people not wanting to do that, people fighting, people yelling, people kicking, scratching. And that's just the office. That's not even the wrestling.
That's not even in the ring. No, like in the ring, you've had to unfortunately now deal with people getting chloroformed, people getting jumped, a man beast.
Like it was crazy before, you know what I mean, when SP was GM, but now I got even SP and his family or whatever the hell they want to go. They're coming after me, and he's called the GM. No one cares.
Oh, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. There we go. We got my brother Kenny in the chat. What's going on, Kenny? We got the boss man in the chat again. We got Billy. What's going on, Billy? Thank you again for joining us here. Kenny, this is my Theo right here. He's not going to answer this. Kenny says, do you have anyone that can put Ray through a table? I'll sponsor them. No.
I mean, what's his name? Sam, Riot Rays. You know what I'm talking about? Sammy. Moff and I were able to launch him, and he's probably, how big would you say he is? He's about what? Easily about 400 almost?
Yeah.
He's there. He's up there. Yeah. And Moff and I were able to send him halfway across the ring and launch them. And not to mention Ace Romero. We carried him across the ring and threw him onto his partner. And AC is probably about 450. So, I mean, if I got a good partner, you know what I mean? Although right now I'm out of commission. I haven't been in the ring in the last few months since November because I got this pinched nerve in my neck and it doesn't want to go away. So just give me a little bit of prep time and healing and should be good.
This is not what I'm expecting for you to offer to put me through the table.
Hey, listen, look at it this way. If someone gives me enough money, I'll buy you ice cream after, like a good deal.
Okay, there you go. So
we'll go to Carvel. You want sprinkles?
See, this is how you know he's the Theo, because it's like, we'll get ice cream after. It's okay.
Ice cream after. Yeah.
Why
or, you know, it's March. We'll go to McDonald's. We'll get a Shamrock Shake. How about that?
There you go. But no, again, we are here. It is Titan Week because we have a lot to talk about. It is a stack Saturday as it starts Saturday morning with the free-for-all. It continues later in the afternoon with Danger Zone, and then we conclude the stack night with another level. And again, like you said, you have a lot that you've been dealing with. I can only imagine what management is looking like right now with this stack Saturday.
So I want you to do me a favor. Can you bring back up the free-for-all hype? Because I've been a part of the free-for-all, I believe it's 3 times now. And I could tell you, just looking at this poster, the man in the middle, PJ Savage, who is currently the Funhouse and Titan Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, Daniel Alexander, Jocko, Frankie I've known before, so I can't really say that he's a free-for-all guy, but those 3 guys right there were all a part of free-for-all. And you see they're all carrying gold. So this is something that if you're a young talent or even an older talent who can't get into certain spots, if you're looking for a chance, an opportunity, this is the best place. You invest in yourself, You go all out. There's gonna be 20 different. How many is it? Like 15 now.
I want to say it's almost at 20 again. Every other
Yeah.
day you're seeing someone else get added to it. It's like we were saying earlier with Jocko. It's again adding to your own resume here. It's networking. It's a lot of opportunities, and
Mhm.
like it was announced for Danger Zone later in the night, close to 9 will be chosen to be on that show from that same free for all.
What a
So
better way to prove yourself first with the free for all, and then if you're good enough to earn one of those spots, you could impress 10 to 15 different companies, including Titan Championship Wrestling, including myself that I'll be watching. You get a chance to show yourself and prove to everybody watching how good you are, and like how awesome is that? Where else can you get that?
and the craziest thing, because I just noticed that when I was talking with Jocko, again, look at the registration fee. It's
Mm-hmm.
free. So
It only
again,
costs you is gas and toll if you're coming from outside of New Jersey.
like
That's it.
that is insane. Again, for a lot of people,
Oh,
because
and,
it's
and
only
one more thing. Before you come, the night before, I am begging you, please wash your gear and make sure you don't smell, because I promise you this: if all of a sudden you're in the free for all and you hear, can you just come up to the ring? And next thing you know, you're getting chopped by 5 different people. That's the message. Don't smell. Be a professional. I know, listen, I've dealt with all kinds of wrestlers of all different type of experience levels who forgot to wash their gear and leave it in the bag overnight in the car for a week, whatever. Do yourself the favor and learn from that moment right there to always be a professional and smell like a professional, or else you will feel it. You will learn you screwed up. Trust me.
yeah, you definitely want to do that. Again, there you go. We got Trey Felipe in the chat there. My favorite Theo
Okay.
GM brought me back. There you go.
That's
And here you
right.
go.
He
He's
hit
agreeing
me
with
up.
you.
He
Wash your
hit me
ass.
up, bro. Yes, that's right. He knows what's up. He's one of the flyest looking dudes in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, like, he has a match on Saturday, right?
Yep.
And the reason why I gave him that match, he hit me up. He reached out to me. Hey, what do I got to do? What can I, do to get an opportunity? That's a huge opportunity right there. Joey Conway right now is one of the hottest independent wrestlers on the Northeast right now. And I've known Conway a few years. I know how hungry he is. He's another one. He's definitely reaching out. Hey, man, what do I got to do? What can I say? Where can I be? What can I, whatever. He's another one that he works a bunch of different places.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's looking for work. He wants to just show up and improve, and represent and be one of the best. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. So, what was that?
No, I was gonna say it is. It's been seen, like seeing what Joey can do in that ring. He's putting in that work. It's paid off for him because he's currently holding 2 separate world championships. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
he's done his own. He's doing his thing
and
right now.
and he's been doing this for like the last 2 or 3 years, where he's been steaming and he's on top of the game. And like it's really impressive that when someone who could easily just be like, oh, I'm killing things here, I'm killing things there, he could easily be like, I'm not gonna do nothing. But then he's asking you, what can I do to be better? To me, that's always the best. Like, that's the people I want on my roster. I told these guys when I first became GM, in a private locker room meeting, I said, what I'm looking for are who's going to be my killers, who's going to be the guys that step it up the same way me and my boys and the guys that were under us did. Who's going to step it up and be the leader, change the business, make waves, make noise, make everything mean something. He was one of them. Jocko's another one. Look, Jocko ever since then became middleweight champ. You know what I mean? So, it's good to see for me as the GM that people are responding to my challenge. I want a roster of killers who are willing to work and make the sacrifice, because for 27 years, me, Moff, Kyle the Beast, Havoc, Low Life Louie, Homicide, anybody that he teamed up with, it was always the same deal. Are you ready to make the sacrifice? And these cats are, and I'm all for it.
No, you definitely see it. And again, it's been a whole new era with Titan. You see it. You see how hungry they are. You see how, again, it's proving Titan strong here. These are Titans in that ring now. So
it's pretty crazy that slogan it became a way to like motivate, but it really has become the the motto of
Yeah.
Titan Championship Wrestling. Titan strong, Titan proud. You know, between that and all gas, no brakes, Billy Fetsky is doing everything he can to make Titan the premier company to work for in New Jersey, in the East Coast. We're hitting up different states now. Last year we started with North Carolina. This year is a couple of different places that he's mentioned to me, including possibly New York, which
Ooh.
if we hit New York, I'm definitely going to be on that because that's my hometown. There's no way I'm not going to represent. You know what I mean? So,
Absolutely.
but and you see it, with the influx of guys coming in from the outside, like a Joel Maximo. You know what I mean? Joel came in, took on PJ Savage, had a hell of a match. So, and now we're hearing some noise from some guys from North Carolina that want some.
I saw
Pretty
that.
good.
I was talking with Jocko. We said that it's just starting to see. It's interesting to see how quick again that buzz starts. Now everyone
Mm-hmm.
starts chirping. Everyone starts
Yep.
coming and wanting a little bit of Titan. Unfortunately for the North Carolina fam, they need to fix their cameras just a little bit. Just a little
Well,
bit.
listen, North Carolina, they work with Android. They don't work with iPhone. Come
We
on
we,
now.
we got to help them out with that, Theo. We got to help them out a
We
little
we
bit.
do. We
Just a little
do. See, who's got iPhones that they could donate to the people of North Carolina?
But here we go. You mentioned him earlier. There he is. Got the champ himself, PJ Savage, in the
What up,
building,
Chad?
saying, "Let's go, Knicks." There you go.
Hell
There you
yeah.
go.
Hell yeah. I mean,
So
this season is the most I've watched basketball in a long time, and it's only been because of the Knicks. And right now they're going through a little bit of a hard time, but I have a feeling once Randall comes back, things are gonna pop for the better. Hopefully.
I was gonna say, hopefully so, hopefully so. But
Hopefully. Yes.
we'll keep pushing for that. But
Yes.
with that being said, again, it is still a stacked event Saturday, and I have to talk about this because I had him on a little while ago. I want to talk about the current situation with that TCW middleweight championship there, and what could we expect? Again, we threw out some things earlier. We threw out possibilities of could it be maybe someone that stands out in that free for all? Could it be someone that's already on that Titan roster? Could it be someone returning to the Titan roster? What can we throw out here for possibilities for Jocko this Saturday? Because he's also he did tell me to ask you this: can Titan get an HR department? Because he keeps getting jumped after his matches. He wants to talk to someone
Yeah.
about this situation. It's been 3 times
Listen.
now, unfortunately for Jocko.
Unfortunately, pro wrestling does not provide an HR department unless you have national TV deals. So, but what I'll do is I'll make sure that we give him matches that he gets a chance to show everybody. I mean, Marcus Mathers is another one of those guys who, from the outside, he's everywhere. And all Marcus Mathers wants to do is get in the ring. And him and Jocko put on such a great match. And just seeing that someone who I don't really have much of a deal with. I mean, I've known him for a while because he grew up around the business, but I don't have a personal investment in him. But he comes out and he wants to work hard for me and for Titan, and that's pretty dope. So you gotta you give him someone with like a Jocko, that Jocko gets pushed and he sees how good he is. Like I said, he was one of those guys. When I asked for a killer, Jocko was like, "I want to be one of your killers."
No.
And so far, he's been knocking out the park. And all I can say is right now that he's going to have a chance this weekend to continue to do what he does best, and that's show up and just hit the grand slam for the walk off home. You know what I'm saying? To win the game. And that's the way I'm always going to see Jocko. Is I'm going to put him in those pressure situations because I want him to believe in himself. Because once you get one win over someone you didn't think that you could, well, guess what? Next time you go in, you're more confident. You continue to gain wins, you become more confident. Steel sharpens steel. And that's what I want for Jocko. I want him to be the best. But, sometimes it's not an easy road because if it was, anybody could do it.
This is true. This is true.
So, and one of those other guys that, I see as, giving an opportunity like this is Michael Fain. Michael Fain, he comes from a high pedigree school. He trained at House of Glory. He trained with some of the best, period. And he's going in there with someone who has been making his name as far west as Pennsylvania. I think he's even been to Ohio a few times. You
Yep.
know, he's all over New Jersey. He's all over Northeast. You know what I'm saying? And EA James, Vander James, you know, he's someone that, you know, you like how I dropped that reference, right?
I had to pop for that because I know that's gonna. But this shows though. Again, you've seen his pedigree
Yeah,
because he also
of
comes from that.
course.
It's been a while seeing
Of course.
what Mr. James has gone through. His evolutions. Again, he's another one that's evolved and continued to grow in the business. And now we're here. We're here at everyone's favorite teacher, Mr.
Yeah,
James.
well, I want him to not only be a teacher, but I want him to be a student and learn
Yep.
how good he could be. Listen, I can tell you, Michael Fain, he's someone that I talk to on the regular. He's someone that is always hungry for knowledge and always wants to be better. And if you look at the size of Michael Fain, he's a truck.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize like how jacked and diesel this guy is. And now he's got a nasty attitude because he's pissed. You know, he questioned how come, you know, he goes elsewhere, he dominates. He comes to Titan, doesn't have that streak there, you know, and he's been pushing it, which is what I expect from someone. You know, you either quit or you push and get better. And he's been pushing to get better. So it's only a matter of time before he makes some huge news. But pretty sure that this match with Evander James is going to be a statement made one way or the other by either guy.
No, definitely so. And again, it's knowing what you said. It's wanting to be one of those killers. Both of these guys come from that it's instilled a similar mentality. Again, it's that old school style. It's like again, be killed or killed. You have to
Yep.
be able to sink or swim with this. And both of them are going to look for that opportunity, especially with everyone that's coming in now. It's one of those where if you don't show out, it's the nature of the business, but you might lose your spot in this. You
Yeah,
never
there's a
know what can
lot
happen.
of guys. Listen, you can say whatever you want to say about Titan. I see all the messages. I see all the people that reach out because there's a lot of them that reach out to me. There's someone right now that he's like 7 foot tall, and I feel horrible because I don't have a spot for him. I don't have a place for him, but he's reached out to me and he can work. He was someone from a free for all. You know what I mean? 7 foot tall. You would think that you would make space for a guy like that, right? You know what I'm
That's
saying?
a that's
But
a yeah. That's a big
that's a
boy.
big that's definitely an attention getter. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But there's nowhere I could put him right now because
Yep.
there's so many spots that are on lockdown, and these guys are fighting, kicking, scratching, clawing to keep that spot. You know, guys and girls, because the girls, listen, it's a tough division there too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, Marie's held that title for a year now, the Goddesses of War title, right? She's going in there with Tiffany Avatar, who that's someone that everyone in the locker room loves. There's so much love shown to Tiffany. She's a badass too. I mean, if you ask me to place a bet, I'm probably going to pick Marie because she's been such a dominant champion. But you know, there's a chance that Tiffany could pull it out. She's an underdog, but it's not like a super underdog. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
No, I
And
can definitely see it. It's one of those where again it could be the shocker. Who knows? Again, Tiffany has had that streak. She has been dominant everywhere she goes. You never know. Again, just because they call her the cotton candy princess doesn't mean she doesn't have again that kill or be killed mentality.
I've seen her where she's gotten knocked with a concussion and still wants to fight. You know who does that? Warriors. Regardless of how skilled they are, if you're a warrior, you get knocked on your head, right? And the whole world is spinning. You still want to fight. That says something a lot about you, your heart, and your pride and your power. Because I've been knocked loopy. It sucks. It's not fun. You know, the whole world takes a second to catch up with where your head is going, and you're like, "What the hell is going on?"
Yeah, not
You know,
not
and
not
you
fun.
still want to fight. You got something in you. You know what I'm saying? I see
Definitely.
Marie said something.
Oh, there you go, Marie. Again, I have to be unbiased because I also have Tiffany coming on in a little bit,
Yep,
so
yep.
I
No,
have
I
to
got you.
stay
I got you.
neutral here as a journalist. This is what we do here outside
I
of
got you.
which I do have to bring up the broadcast journalists that you guys have at Titan right now. Looks like they have their own agendas. Harry now with his show, he's doing things. Alex wanted to be in a battle. What is happening with the commentary team?
I told you it's not easy being the GM. There's a lot of nonsense you got to balance.
Like that is just again, Theo. You have my number. If you need a respectable commentator, you know who to call.
Trust me, I got you. But, it's like I'm the guy spinning the plates, juggling, and throwing the dogs to juggle around. You know what I'm saying?
No, I got you. Again, I just have to because I saw again that will also be happening. Mr. James will be on Harry's show on Saturday, and I'm just seeing what they're doing. And I'm like, okay, everyone has there's a lot going on, but that is what you love to see, though. You're seeing a lot of different ideas. You're seeing a lot of different things here. Look at that. We have one half of the current Titan tag team champions in the chat. We talking killers and not mentioning blocks. See, we'll mention you now, blocks, because
you want some, we'll get you some.
We'll talk about you guys right now because
that's
the whole situation with the Deadly Sins.
Of course, because there's 5 or 6 or 18 or 20 of them. It's hard to get one individual to shine on. You know what I'm saying?
I will say, yeah, it is hard to keep track. Who is not in the Deadly Sins right now? Like, there's a lot of members just being added.
Billy Fetsky is a Deadly Sin, which I don't know what the hell that is. You know what I mean? But
well then, okay. I would not be surprised because I have multiple on this week for Titan Week. I feel like I'll probably get an invitation before the week is over.
You'll be part of. You'll be NWO Sting.
I just get
what you call Deadly Sin Sting. That'll be you. Your face red. It'll be awesome. But like even with blocks, it's I saw Billy responded.
We'll show that instantly. We got to make sure just to clear things up. The boss man is not a Deadly Sin.
That's what's up. But like with blocks, right? Yeah. Blocks when he came in, he was someone he needed to be pushed a little harder. And not because he wasn't good, but just because he hadn't been used to facing stiffer competition. Gotcha. He comes to Titan and he starts shining because he's giving 1,000% to everything that he does. And because of that, within a year and a half or whatever it was, he becomes one half of the tag team champions. Which, listen, you're talking to the tag team guy. I always get at Mike Santana. I'm always like, you're not a tag team specialist. I'm a tag team specialist. You're just a rookie, son. You know what I mean? But I've been, it's something like 90 titles. Of that, 80 something are tag titles, right? Not too many singles titles. With over, I think it's 13 or 14 tag partners. Might even be 15 by now. But I mean, if anybody knows something about tag team wrestling, it's me. So by Blocks doing this, that's the first step, maybe even the second step. Next he goes after a secondary title, maybe a singles title or another tag team title or whatever it is. I mean, hey, listen, Moff and I had 7 titles at one time at the same time, and I haven't met anybody that's done that with tag titles yet. You know what I mean? Not that it's that hard, but I mean, it kind of is hard.
I was gonna say, I know you made it look easy, but again, there is a lot to it, especially with how tough that division is at Titan, and also just how tough it could be. Because again, on Saturday, 2 of the standouts will be facing Frankie Picard and Blocks for those tag team titles, and it's one thing again you don't know who to prepare for, so that adds a whole nother element to it.
Again, we've said anywhere, any range experience. Yeah. Who's to say that some 5 to 10 year vet isn't going to try out and make it and get that spot? Yeah. And then what's going to happen with Blocks and Frankie then? You know what I mean? And then not to mention, they have a giant target on their back because they talk so much trash. If you watch all the videos, it's always Deadly Sins. Done. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. But there's a reason for it because they make all the noise right now. No. You know what I mean?
It's hard to deny them that. It's hard to deny that it's not to your face. It's hard not to see them. And I get it. Again, it's making that point. It's making that matter. And it works. Again, is it the tactics that are agreeable by everyone? Possibly not. But it works. And again, it shows that value of them wanting to be the best coming out of Titan. But again, Saturday, we'll see what happens. Oh, here we go. We got Blocks' response, I guess, to that. Doesn't matter. Whoever steps up gets knocked down.
That's the attitude to have, because you can't prep for anybody, like you said, and you got to be able to send them. Look at this transition. You got to be able to be ready to send your opponent in an ambulance.
There you go. That's a perfect transition there.
I'm saying I'm a pro at this.
See, this is why me and Theo had a podcast. This is what happens. Theo learned how to just do. I always have to say when we did, because eventually the logo's still there. One day we'll be using this again. One day. Yes. You know what's funny? Someone saw the logo on my computer yesterday because I had it on me, and they're like, "Is that the JAP logo?" It's like, well, it's based off it.
It's a spawn of the JAP logo.
Hey, I always had to show respect for that. Again, you know my feelings on that. So we go into that though. We go into the ambulance because it's funny. SP is in the chat, so we'll get to hear his thoughts when we talk about that ambulance match happening this Saturday, as it will be Big Jeff Noise going head to head with Face. And normally in a match like this, again, the size difference, you would think it's very predictable to say Jeff has this in the bag. But I can't say that when across the ring from him, it's a man like Face. Because I've seen what Face has been doing. He just went toe-to-toe not too long ago with a veteran, a legend like Crowbar. And unfortunately put Crowbar to sleep.
That's what's
so
up.
It's one of those where I don't know if Jeff, and I just saw SP's promo from earlier today. I don't know if they really know what they're getting their hands on this Saturday with Face. Now they're going into it with a pissed off Face too.
Well, see, that's the whole thing. It started because of their stupidity. When they had the body slam challenge, they interfered, they interrupted Face's segment as far as him talking and addressing the Titan Nation with Harry. And they came out and wanted to be dumbasses and everyone's gonna try to body slam us, but nobody's gonna body slam Big Jeff. My name is Jeff. But what happened? They pissed off Face. Just a little bit, because all it was just a little bump. You know what I mean? You do that all the time in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? But got to the point where, Face came back out, body slammed the big man. Wasn't expecting that. Big man was hot about that. You know what I'm saying? And that just goes to show, if you motivate Face, he can conquer a lot of things. Big, tall, short, small, whatever. You know what I mean? Face, he's got a lot of rage and anger in him. You could see it. And now that they got him pissed off, well, I don't know if it's going to be, like I said before about Marie and Tiff, it's not as clear cut.
It definitely isn't. Again, I definitely try to be unbiased with this, but I have to be in there in that neutral ground of it's a toss-up. Either man could possibly win this. And again, with the chaotic side of it being an ambulance match, we've seen what's happened in the previous ones. You were part of the last one, if I'm not mistaken, DO4.
I was on the first one. Yeah,
so I
almost lost. Listen, Life Louie is my brother.
Yeah.
And he almost beat me. Legit. There was one point where I was inside the ambulance and he punched me and I was, oh my God, there's a bed right here. Let me just lay down. You know what I'm saying?
That moment of you know what? I'm just gonna lay down. Oh wait, no, I'm gonna lose if I do that.
No, I can't. What am I doing? You know what I'm saying?
It's oh, this is comfy. Nope.
I mean, everything's kind of legal in an ambulance match. The whole point is to get him incapacitated, lay him on the gurney, and get the gurney inside the ambulance. And close the door shut. You can do that, you win. Listen, all it takes is a couple of good shots, and either one of those guys, hell, maybe Face could do me the favor and put SP to sleep and lay Jeff Noise on top of SP on the gurney so that he really gets stuck and ends up for a ride in an ambulance with Jeff.
That could be a visual. We never know. Again, with what's happening with Face, you never know what he can feel like. He might just want multiple bodies and multiple casualties on Saturday. And SP, you probably shouldn't get this. I gotta show the comment, unfortunately, SP, because he says Face was walking out. You dumbass. Get it straight if you want to talk trash, GM.
He really wasn't. He was in the ring, and you guys came out with the mic. So, GM meaning good moron for SP. It's all good. Listen, one of these days, I'm gonna get SP and his little dog too. You know what I'm saying? Trust me.
And SP again. It's he's usually good pal SP, but don't poke the SP. But we'll go to his next. Face struck his nose when he had no business. Now he's gonna have to deal with the King of the Monsters. Again, it's looking like SP was the other way around, but it still leads no matter what to Saturday. And he admits it there, though. Face is nobody to take lightly, but don't underestimate the kaiju. We're not underestimating him. Again, he is a kaiju. He's a big dude. But
Jeff Noyes has been around a hot minute too, and he knows his way around the ring. It's not like he's some greenhorn who's just a big man. He knows how to fight. He knows how to beat people up. I mean, you saw in the Mount Olympus Rumble, he made some damage there.
Yeah, he definitely did.
Me, I know all about Jeff Noyes. You know what I'm saying? I don't take him lightly, and I wouldn't if I was Face either. If Face slips up, Face will be taking the ride in the ambulance at the end of the night. So, like I said, this isn't something that it's an underdog and someone who's got the 1,000% of the vote. It's a lot closer to 50-50 than anybody realizes.
No, agreed on that. Definitely will be. And again, this is why you guys have to be in the building this Saturday for another level. Be there for Danger Zone, and again, for anyone that has trained experience, be there for that free-for-all. But I have to ask you about this, because I will be speaking to both of them this week, one being Aaron Roxas later tonight. I have to ask you your thoughts on the situation going on with these two right here, that being Aaron Roxas and my good friend, Dr. Sleep, Anthony Gangone, because the visuals they put out recently for Titan, I kind of don't know what's going on with my best friend right now. So how have you been handling that deal? Because I don't know what's
this way. Let's put it this way. You just admitted Gangone is your best friend. It's one of your closest people in real life. And if you're having a hard time understanding it, imagine me and Gangone have never been in a shared space where we agree on much. And to see the stuff that's coming out from him and Roxas, the Shermanator, it's definitely bizarre to me. I will say this, Roxas is a master manipulator. We saw how he manipulated Johnny Moran into basically, ending his career. He used him to get on the roster, and then he took his career away from him, and now it looks as if he's done something to Gangone where, Gangone wasn't my favorite, but he was a straight arrow, and, I don't know what the hell, he gassed him up and legit. And now we have this creep who looks through windows of doors and just stands there looking at people. It's very unnerving, to say the least, what Gangone is about.
It's a little, again, like I said, he is one of my closest friends, but I don't know what's going on. I haven't gotten too much to be able to talk to him about it. I will be talking to him this week. Tomorrow night, I'll be talking to Dr. Sleep, and I'm going to try to get to the bottom of this. Hopefully I can give you some information, Theo, but yeah, it's a different side of my friend. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to try to understand what's going on with Roxas, because it was shocking to see this turn of events with Johnny Moran, which I know, again, you and Johnny weren't on the closest of terms, but to see something like that, I can imagine it wasn't a good sight to see either.
No, it definitely wasn't. I mean, I spent the year fighting Johnny Moran. We were on opposite sides, and I kind of was proud of him because he was, again, like someone that where the competition they were fighting wasn't the stiffest competition, and he got to sharpen his steel by getting in there with guys who were better than him, and he came out looking like a total badass. And I didn't approve when he teamed up with Roxas, but you could tell that there was something there. It's like when you see that girl who's with the guy, and the guy, come on, Suzanne, we're going here. You know what I'm saying? And it was very like Well, I mean, that's on him. That's what he wants to do. Whatever, as long as he don't mess things up for anybody else or whatever. And then, I felt bad. And when he lost his match where he had to give up his career, I was right there ringside to, one of the first guys to, console him, because I had a lot of hope and faith in Johnny Moran as far as doing something and being a star in this business. And he had a lot of potential. And, it's a shame that it's been derailed, but, things happen. What are you going to do? We all learn from our mistakes eventually. So,
definitely so.
Don't trust him.
Again, it's going to be an interesting conversation later on tonight. Hopefully, again, we might need to instill that HR department, because I don't know what's going to happen.
I'm sure if we had the HR department, he complained that I called him Shermanator again. But it's not my fault. Shermanator has been living for the last 2 years almost with the crowd. The fans are the ones who call him Shermanator, not me.
Unfortunately, you can't complain about that. The fans are, that's it. It's whatever it means. That's it. There you go. Matt Awesome just wanted to say what's up to you, Theo. There you go. Yeah, Matt's not too fond of me right now, because I'm not too happy. Because Theo, I don't know if
you got your own things going on. Yeah.
Because I was just announced recently I'm doing Spanish commentary now, and Matt immediately wants to break my table. I just got the table, and Matt wants to break my Spanish commentating table, and it's like I just got it. Let me have it for a day.
Are you dropping the peligro, peligro, peligro?
I might have to. Eventually, that will be said.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the best commentators of all time, and he gets his love now. Whenever I see him, I'm always like, yes.
Oh, got you. But with that being said, we've talked about, again, the amazing action that's going on this Saturday. But I have to ask you, going into this one, because you faced both of these men before. You've gone to war, definitely, with one of them on multiple occasions. I have to ask you about this right here. And that is the main event, that 30-minute Iron Man match. TCW and Funhouse heavyweight championships on the line. Finally going down. Jay Bougie versus PJ Savage. And Theo, I have to ask again, you faced them both. You know what they bring to the table. Making it an Iron Man match here, how insane is it going to be on Saturday?
Well, real quick, before we get into this, I just want to say one thing. Yep. Casey Lycan, I see you fighting and throwing fire, you Tasmanian devil, you.
Yeah, they've been fighting this whole time in the comments.
Yeah, the whole time, him and Block. This is like people don't understand. Like, sometimes the real world crosses over, and this is like real world stuff between Blocks and Casey Lycan, especially with the whole Daniel Riley becoming a deadly sin, and like there's some real, like, I might have to put them in separate rooms and talk to them on Saturday before the show, which is fine with me. I mean, Adam Ace throwing in his 2 cents. But with that being said, that attitude right there is reminiscent of how Jay Bougie is. Jay Bougie, when has a point, he will fight to make sure everybody hears it. He will do everything that he can to make sure that everyone knows that his opinion is right by him. And he felt that, whether he was screwed over by Titan in the past or screwed over by PJ in the past, he felt he had a statement to make. And from the minute Jay Bougie came back to Titan, it has been a nonstop chaos-filled hurricane every time PJ and Jay Bougie are anywhere near each other. It took 50 guys to break them up in, on the first show that Bougie was back. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, it's just been chaotic. So now, you throw them in an Iron Man match. You see who could do the most damage within 30 minutes. This is the crazy thing. I've wrestled a 40-minute match. I didn't know it was going to go 40 minutes. We just went out there. We fought 40 minutes. You're cool. You're just doing whatever you can to keep your breath. Do whatever you can to make sure you can hit your moves on point to get the win and finish. When you're in an Iron Man match, now you know you have a set time to make sure you have to do what you have to do. Your mind starts to race because now you're thinking, what do I got to do to put this guy down more times than he puts me down? Because he's going to get me at least once or twice. but I got to make sure I got to get him 4 or 5. You know what I mean? Now you're thinking, all right, what can I do in 30 minutes? Because, this guy, either one of them could be saying this. This guy's like a roach. I can step on him 30 times and he's still moving. You know what I mean? And then you throw into the fact that they have so much history from way back, right? The whole group, were they the takeover, right?
Yep.
And they made a lot of noise, but as much noise as they made, it fizzled out because too many egos. This one wanted this, that one wanted that, and these two don't want to deal with this one, and whatever it was, right? So there's that natural hate. There's that natural Cain and Abel mentality of brothers fighting. And now I can't just beat him with one thing because he will get out of that. I got to beat him with multiple things as fast as I can, as many times as I can. And knowing how PJ is, I know he's looking to catch. If he gets his hands on Bougie, it's he's going to rip him up. But as far as Bougie goes, he's got to be thinking, how can I get this guy to chase me and blow up? So that way I can take advantage of him and pin him 5 or 6 times in a row because he can't breathe. So you got to look at it, it's a different mentality for a 30-minute Ironman match. Like I said, 40 minutes, nothing. It was cool. Did what we had to do. We, got the win when we needed to. Took a couple of minutes to get some air in our lungs. 30-minute Ironman match, you don't have that much time because it goes like that.
And it's so many elements to it. Again, talking with Jocko a little while ago, we went into, again, their history. Even when they were in the group, like you mentioned, it was those egos. They weren't as cohesive as it seemed. Mm-hmm. So you already have that. You have that animosity built, but now you're adding the element of those championships are on the line.
Yep.
And Jay Bougie's already done it before. He's taken away a championship from PJ Savage at Invictus not too long ago. So it's one of those where PJ has that in the back of his head. This Titan is his. Titan has been something that he said he's bringing the Savage era to Titan. So the last thing he wants is to end this reign to someone like Jay Bougie.
Giving it up to Bougie, who I don't know exactly, but I got to think in my mind, when it comes to PJ Savage, he looks at Jay Bougie as the younger brother, the little brother. Yeah. And it's the bigger brother. It's his job to keep the younger brother in line and keep him in place. And now here's the thing. Both of them are great talents. Both of them are great athletes. Both of them fight hard, which, as a GM, you want to see that all the time. You want to see hard fighting. You want to see people going at it to get the win and not just to put on a show, and I think that both of them are going to at first try to outshine, but then once they hear 5 minutes gone, 25 minutes remaining, once they hear that call from David Adams, they go, oh man, I gotta step it up now. And now that's where the game really starts, because now you gotta think, all right, what can I hit right now? What can I get away with? Can I get him in this position? Can I get in that position? What do I gotta watch out for? Now your mind starts to race.
And that's when it's dangerous, because it's that do or die moment of, I need to get that quick fall or 2, because you never know what possibility it could be to be able to get the advantage. Make sure that when the clock goes to 0, you have the most falls, because if not, unfortunately, David Adams will be announcing, and your winner is not you.
Yeah, pretty much. and I can tell you this now, should something happen that they go to a time limit and it's a draw, I'll give them sudden death, but they'll have 10 minutes to complete that sudden death. So there's even that little caveat, which, most of the time they like to leave it as a surprise, but, and I'm pretty sure Billy didn't want me adding that, but general manager, fight me. What are you going to do?
Again,
they'll have an extra 10 minutes. They'll have an extra 10 minutes to prove, to get that one fall, and whoever gets it first wins, but if they don't get it and you end up going 40 minutes and it's a draw, where's that going to leave your ego? You know what I'm saying?
That's another element to this, because imagine both of these, again, both have their egos to them. Both have their just that machismo of wanting to be the better guy, and to being able to not get a clean victory. That's going to leave some things. Again, I'll be talking to PJ this Thursday. I definitely want to hear what his mentality is going to that and how he would possibly feel if, unfortunately, he can't get that win on Saturday.
Yeah, and you got to think even more for him than it would be for Bougie, because Bougie has nothing to lose. PJ Savage is double champ. He's champ. If he doesn't get the win, where does that leave him as far as feeling like a champ?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I've had draws as a champ, and it's not fun to deal with, because you're like, damn it, I should have beat him.
Yeah.
But, when you got someone that you really hate, and if you do go to the time limit and you don't beat them, I'm pretty sure that's going to leave a really bad sting.
I can only imagine. And again, it leaves so much just for the ego, leaves for your mentality going forward. And I feel like if it does go to that, which we're hoping not, I don't think this would be the end of this for any means.
I'm pretty sure there's still going to be some sort of nonsense, because, like I said, with Titan lately, everybody's been wanting to, get at each other. And like I said, it's a good thing. It's a good thing, especially for the fans, because it doesn't leave any dead spots. You know what I mean?
That's what you want. You want,
yeah, of course.
Yeah, you want that action. You want something like that. And again, it brings a whole different element. This is why, again, if you haven't already, get your tickets. Link will be in the description down below to get those, because you're going to want to be in the building. Be there again. Get there a little early. Be there for that Danger Zone taping, because it's going to be a good, just whole day of action. Great time. And enjoy some Titan Championship Wrestling.
And, the good thing is, if for whatever reason you can't, there's a couple of places to stream us. You got Premiere, which is probably the main place for everyone to check out if you missed the show. But, there's a lot of options right now to catch Titan. You go on their social media right now, it'll lay out every single option, where you can watch Titan. But the best place to do it is to catch it live. I mean, like I said before, there's kids who don't even know what American Pie is that scream out Shermanator. If you could imagine what it sounds like to have 40 or 50, 60 kids yelling Shermanator at a guy, and like they weren't around when the movie was around, you know what I mean? Like, there's no way in hell that they could even know who the hell Shermanator is, but they yell Shermanator.
The thing is, I would hope they don't know, because they are too young. I saw it at Mount Olympus, and I'm like, you should not know what that is. No.
Listen,
but it's those experiences. And hey, we've heard crazier. Again, there are things that happen on those JP shows.
But look at the recent Mob Fight TV champion, Jay Outcast. It started out as that. He wanted to get a shot. He kept coming early to shows, fixing up the ring, fixing up the chairs, doing whatever he can. If we needed a spot where someone couldn't make it and we put him in there, he did. He didn't question. All he wanted was an opportunity. And yet a year later, even before that, there was hundreds of kids who were signing a petition. I didn't even know kids knew what a petition was. But they signed a petition online and on paper that I saw. It was like 5 sheets deep. You know what I mean? For multiple shows. When you have that kind of love in your fans, then you want to work harder. That's why our guys go all out. Nobody's perfect. But you know what? They'll die trying. And I've seen that with every single man and woman on that roster. They will go all out to give the fans the best possible show. So when you come to a Titan show, understand that you're getting the best possible wrestling you can get for the price that you're paying for it, because trust me, it ain't that expensive.
It really isn't. Again, it is truly a steal. And again, you're getting that taping. Look, again, we're going to show the posters here just to show you. It is, look at that low price of, it's a free taping for Danger Zone.
$3.99. Free $3.99.
So you get that. And then later in the night, buy your tickets, be there, because you're not going to want to miss an ambulance match, an Iron Man match, and matches that haven't been announced yet. Because the man we just had a little while ago, Jocko, will be in action. Anthony Gangone, Aaron Roxas will be in action. That new Mob Fight TV champion, Jay Outcast, will be in action. There's a lot to expect this Saturday. And I'll
And
steal
again,
a
we didn't
line
even
from the
talk about
Theos.
Daniel Riley. We didn't talk about Casey Likenmore. We didn't talk about the rest of the Deadly Sins. We didn't talk about Bon Jovi and Daniel Alexander. That every time they've been in the ring together, it's been a fire match. For the light heavyweight championship. So there's so much going on. Trust me, you do not want to miss this action coming up this weekend.
Definitely so. And again, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you're following Titan on all their social media right there. Follow them on Instagram right there, Titan Championship Wrestling. Follow them on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, at Titan Champions 1. Follow Theo Mack as well on Twitter right there, at Steve Mack DHS. Make sure you're keeping up to date because, again, that's how you get all the info and all things Titan and all things coming up with Titan Championship Wrestling. Oh, we got Ken Powers in the chat. Last
Ken
comment
Powers.
here before we go. Hey Mac, we've got some business to discuss regarding Danger Zone. Well then,
listen, my office door is always open. You know that, Ken. You're one of the guys that I look up to on the roster because you're another one who came from nowhere and has made a huge name for yourself. Your boys, maybe not so much, but you definitely. And there's a lot of guys. Like I said, everybody on this roster that I work with, I mean, I'm all for them coming up to me and coming up with a plan on how to make yourself better and put yourself in a bigger spot. So before we go, I just want to shout out two people. The first one I want to shout out is my boy Jeff, aka Guap. He just completed his second year and got his chip of sobriety. I'm very proud.
Hey, there you go.
That's what's up. And then the next guy is the guy who practically made this entire Northeast scene happen. Mr. 187 Homicide.
There you go. We got the other deal in the building.
Yep. March 5th is his 30th anniversary, which is today. And I'm glad to say that I've known him for 27 of those 30 years. First time I ever met Homicide, he was wearing a pair of Timbs that had blood on them. And I asked him, I was like, what happened to your boots? How come you got blood? And he goes, this jobber, he tried to mess with me, so I used my steel toes to kick him, and he started bleeding. And I was like, there you go. Welcome to wrestling.
That sounds about right from a homicide story. Yeah. So, but no, congratulations to both, and shout out to Theo. That is
one of my favorite things is when he was in Japan. He showed me the tape. And he's going to do a balcony dive, and there's this guy, homicide. So every time, including the time that him and Kento Kobashi wrestled Samoa Joe and Key in Ring of Honor, real quiet, homicide. And he said he started laughing because he knew it was me right away. Homie. So everywhere he goes, if you ever see Homicide, homicide. Let them know that you love them.
Gotta love that. But no, much love to both. Congratulations to both. There you go. We got Billy. Congrats to both. Definitely shout out to both of them. Again, if you guys haven't, we're going to plug that again. We had Homicide on here not too long ago when we're still doing Glory Days. So definitely check that episode out. A lot of great stories there, a lot of laughs, and definitely more to come.
That was over a year ago. It felt like it just happened.
Yeah, it definitely was. My
favorite's still the reefer one driving around in his car.
That was the funniest just because he kept going, but it's like he was in it.
Look at this. Look at this, Quiff. Bro, move your car, bro. What are you doing?
Oh, man. But shout out to Reefer, too. All things he's doing. Loudy's Wrestling has been killing it.
Anniversary, too. It's 25th. Yep. I was there for the beginning of that. He was coming to the doghouse. You know what I mean? And it's cool for me. I get to see a lot of my friends, a lot of the youngsters coming up, celebrate double digits. I mean, I'm old as hell, but, it's all good, you know what I mean? But I'm happy and proud to see a lot of the guys. Papa Don's another one that's been up there. And also, pay attention. I've got a very special match coming up in April. It's not announced yet, but I already know that it's happening, and it's going to involve someone from that throwback JP era. So I kind of want to reach out to the JP family for them to come out and watch this match. Plus, everyone here watching, and we'll talk about it. We'll get me and the other guy on the show one time with you just to hype it up. So,
got you. No, we'll definitely make that work, and we'll definitely as one of those where the minute we get off the air, I got to know the details.
Yes.
But to everyone watching, again, make sure you continue to come back in a little bit because we'll be back live here with Tiffany Avatar. And then at 9, I'll be talking to that dastardly Aaron Roxas. And again, I'll try to get some info for Theo. Wish me luck on that one, Theo. But to everyone watching, be there Saturday. And as always, don't forget to be wise, be genuine, be real, be better people, respect the craft. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Homicide all.